In this video, I'm going to give you the exact steps you can use on how to get someone to open up to you. Now, you can either use this to create a deep connection with someone, or you can use this information in a more manipulative way and understand more their vulnerable side. Now, I'm not going to be judging you. I'm just going to give you the tools which you can use, whether you want to use this positively or negatively. Now, I promise if you stick around to the end of the video, you will guarantee understand how exactly you can get someone to open up, become vulnerable with you, and give you information which you want, and then have them become extremely honest and open with you. Let's get started. The things I'm about to tell you are extremely powerful in creating trust, extracting information, and influencing people's behavior. I want to stress this, that please use this morally and ethically. The main reason I'm making this video is so you are aware that you can keep yourself safe and not to exploit others. Because I'm warning you, the things that I'm about to tell you are extremely powerful. I'm not telling you this information to be manipulative. I'm giving you the tool so you can protect yourself. Now, the effects of this silent tactic are four main ones. Firstly is trust, because when you use the things that I'm about to tell you, in literally just a couple of seconds, you will be able to create an immense amount of rapport with anyone and make people feel that you are genuinely interested in them. Second is power. Because by doing this effectively, you will be able to extract different information, valuable information for the people around you. And then you will be able to have a high-level overview of everybody's intentions, aka giving you more power. Thirdly is influence. Because by extracting valuable information, you understand certain emotional triggers which people have, and then which can actually be used against them in a vulnerable situation to guide them in the direction that you want. Now, like I said before, I'm not giving you this so you can be a manipulative Machiavellian character. I want you to be aware. And fourthly, is ease. You will actually be very surprised as to how easy it is to master the skill that I'm about to give you, which actually makes this pretty scary. Now, you're probably wondering as to what I'm about to tell you. Now, before I tell you, I want to frame something that when I tell you, you're probably going to click off this video and think that you know how to do it, but you're wrong. So stay tuned, because I'm literally about to give you the secret sauce as to how to get people to open up to you. And that is by active listening. Now, I know it sounds simple, but I'm going to go into immense and tremendous detail and give you applicable tools as to how you can do this properly. Now, there are two things when it comes to actively listening. Firstly, it's your physicality. Now, when it comes to your physicality, there are four main things. Firstly is your presence. You must be absolutely focused with the person that is in front of you. Okay? You must empty your mind and listen to them carefully and analyze their vocabulary and their language. Because if they feel that you do not care that they are there, that you are not listening to them, they will be indifferent towards you, and then they will not give you the valuable information that you so desire, as an example. Secondly is eye contact. This is the best way to remain focused and just show someone that you are listening. Because when you stare at them, it's not even about the fact that you actually listen to them. It's more so about the fact that they feel like they are being listened to. Please rewind that if you need to. That's very, very important, because eye contact also, it helps you staying focused, and don't be a creep. Don't just stare into their soul like this and just fucking open your eyes and like never look away. Make it natural, but make sure to look them in the eyes. They will feel like they are being listened to. Thirdly is facial expressions. When they are speaking about certain topics, you want to mirror the emotions which they are conveying or presenting or talking about. If they are saying something that's funny, laugh. If they are saying something that's serious, be serious. If they are saying something which is scary, then you want to mimic those emotions. If they're being serious, be serious. Essentially, you want to mirror what they are doing. And fourthly is body language, which goes into facial expressions and mirroring. However, you want to be actively showing that you are listening. You want to be nodding, eye contact. Yeah. Really, really. Just showing and using your body and showing them that you're actually listening to them. Secondly is the verbal things, which is what you say. Now, there are four main things, and I want you to listen very carefully to these, because these are extremely powerful. Firstly, it's paraphrasing. It's a very, very simple technique, but if you use it properly, I'm going to show you exactly how to, it will encourage the person to go deeper and clarify certain topics. Now, paraphrasing, if you don't know, is essentially rephrasing or rewording what they just told you. Now, if you do that properly, the effect is insane. But you can't do it after every single sentence or after every single thing they say, because they will catch up onto it, and then you just look like a fucking weirdo who's not actually having a proper conversation. However, one thing to add, when you do paraphrase, pause and do not speak, because that will encourage the person to dive deeper into whatever they were saying. Okay, and then they will give you more clarity in whatever they said. As an example, if I was saying, or someone was saying, yeah, the reason I started playing golf when I was young is because my mum actually made me do it, but then it actually became a very useful skill, with regards to networking and stuff. And then I'd respond to that, oh, really? So, like, I mean, you didn't like it, but I guess it feels like it's pretty, I guess, useful now. And they were like, yeah, and the reason for that is because, networking, and then they'll carry on. That's just a tiny example, but you can amplify this and use your tonality, which I might give you later on. Secondly is probing, which is directly asking for clarification on certain topics. When you say, like, back to the golf example that I literally just talked about, and I'll be in character. When you said that it's useful for networking, like what do you mean exactly when you say that it can be useful for networking? And then they'll just go deeper as to whatever they said, and they will give you more details. It's not that difficult, but when you do it properly, when you do it on certain words and certain, I guess, key points that they say, it's very, very important, because that makes them go deep and not wide, which gives you the real motivation or the real reason for them saying a certain thing, which I guess creates a bigger connection with that person. And then word question mark. Now, this is a very indirect tactic and it's very subtle, but if you do it properly, it works like a charm with regards to extracting more information. For example, whenever someone uses specific or unusual diction, you want to repeat that back to them in a confused tone. So, as an example, with the same example, just because it's here, when this guy was talking about how golf is good for networking, I could go, like he said, oh yeah, because it's really good for networking in that aspect. Networking? And I just repeat it back in a confused, like I look confused as to what he means by networking. And then he'll go, oh yeah, networking, because when you're on a golf, and then blah, 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 blah. He's speaking about how networking is useful. However, you can use this to guide the tone of a conversation. Because if they're saying positive things and you focus on the positive word, it will amplify it and amplify the conversation in a positive direction. However, if they're speaking about negative things, or things which they are sad about, or depressed, or frustrated about, and you focus on that particular thing, it will drag the conversation down. As an example, with the same fucking golf example, if he said, oh yeah, at the beginning I really didn't like it, I really didn't like golf because my mom made me do it, and but then obviously it turned out good for networking. If I was to focus on the, your mom made you do it, that's more of a negative tone. However, for example, if you're in sales and you're focusing on someone's pain point, and if they say something along the lines of, yeah, it's just with this business, I'm not getting any good, potential clients, and it's really, really frustrating, because I've been having it for a while. Frustrating? Yeah, because it's been so long, and then they dive deeper into the pain, and so it amplifies it down in a negative way. Like I said, I'm going into extreme detail, but this is a very, very simple tactic which you can use to amplify both ends of a conversation. And fourthly, is shut up. Just shut the fuck up. Simple as that. You should rarely interrupt someone, if ever. And one thing that I actually started doing a long time ago, which I stopped doing, which I'll probably do it again, which is whenever someone's finished with a sentence, just sit there in silence. Just look at them, nod, like keep nodding. And then what will happen is they will most likely keep on speaking because nobody really likes silence and they want to fill the void because they don't like being awkward on both ends. But if you do this purposefully, especially on a particular subject or a particular topic, they will go more in depth towards that certain thing. And usually, I've heard this thing where you wait 3 or 4 seconds. So if I'm saying, oh, you play golf, right? I'll just do a role play. You play golf? Yeah, because in the beginning, actually, like my mum made me do it, and I didn't really like it, but yeah, it actually ended up being quite useful for me. Yeah, because it's just a very, very useful thing when it comes to networking and things like that. Now, obviously, that is a shitty example, but usually, if you, unless it's clear that it's your turn to speak, if you just shut up, they will actually keep on going and get more clarity. I've had this. I've had this several times where I'd be speaking to someone, and midway through the conversation, that they would tell me and tell themselves, "Fuck, I don't usually tell people this," and then they would just keep going. Or, "Fuck, I don't know if I should tell you this," and then they would. Or, That's too much information. I shouldn't be telling you this." Why? It's just because I'm listening. I'm actively listening, and I'm using the tools that I'm literally giving you right now. Now, like I said before, do not use this in a manipulative way. I am just making you aware of certain things. So when you are in conversation, you can pick up on it and say, and not point them out and call them out that they watched Fox's video and say, "Oh, how to get people to open up." That'll be pretty cool. But just to be aware of it so you can protect yourself and your loved ones. Now, as a bonus, I'm going to give you another tool which is going to directly change the way you speak with people forever. And I'm not even joking. I am being dead serious. Now, this tactic that I'm about to, I guess, give you access to on top of what I've just said is going to allow you to manipulate your voice to get certain answers from people. And that is your tonality and cadence, essentially, how to use your voice to get the answers you want. Now, these are the tools. Firstly, is cadence. Now, this is the speed at which you speak. Because when you speak slower, you increase the tension, which increases the impact. For example, this can help increase importance of certain topics, or it can help increase or amplify the emotions involved. Because if I'm speaking to you like this and I'm in a lecture, right, I'm basically giving you a speech right now. Okay. And if I go to a certain point, but listen, at a certain point, you have to take control of your life, because if you don't, then the next year is going to look like the last year. And honestly, honestly tell me, like, where do you see your life heading? 3 months down the line, if you keep doing what you have been doing. Now, that is obviously a massive example, and you might be laughing at this, which is because it's creating tension, because there's more pauses, there's more silence. And if I'm speaking faster, you're more likely to pay attention and listen to the things I say. But for example, if I had a little smirk to that, and I could be saying random bullshit, I could be like, yeah. And but just when you speak slower and you take more pauses, and you emphasize certain words, there's a different vibe to it, and a different kind of emotion involved, which you can use to actually, gather information that you want. Now, you might be laughing. I'm not sure if you are, but just understanding how your voice is powerful. And the second thing is inflection. Now, there's actually 3 kinds of inflection, which is down, neutral, and up. Right? Can you hear the difference? Can you hear the difference? Can you hear the difference? Now, obviously, I'm amplifying it, but when you speak with a more downward inflecting tone, you're more authoritative, you're commanding more respect, and you're more confident. Whereas when you're speaking up, you're more like a friendly vibe, and you're more insecure, and you're more, I guess, unsure of what you're saying, because you end on a high note and it sounds like you're asking a question all the time. Now, both of these can be effective. For example, if you're asking people personal questions, then you can go in a more So like when you said that, I guess that you're frustrated, like what did you mean by that? That's just an example. Because not a lot of people like to be vulnerable. Obviously, as a rule, feminine is more vulnerable than masculine, so women are more vulnerable than men. However, when you're walking on eggshells, you can use your voice and your cadence to soften out a question. The next thing is facial expressions. You want to mirror, similar to how you mirror the emotions of the other person when they are speaking, you want to mirror the emotions that you want to create. Because if you're saying something funny, just start laughing. Bro, it doesn't even have to make sense. Like the sentences I'm making don't actually make sense, but because I'm smiling and because I'm laughing, the other person is more likely to laugh. But if I'm confused, and if I'm speaking about a story when I was walking down like a particular place and I had no idea what was in front of me, it's more confused. But if I'm telling a story about how I was like scared shitless and I was looking around me and I heard voices and I heard noises and I heard like I saw movements around. You want to amplify and create the emotion that you're. Also, sorry, you want to amplify infinite sentence. You want to amplify and create the emotion and convey the emotion which you are speaking about. The next thing you can use your facial expressions for is softening questions. This is similar to the inflection bit, which when you are asking a personal question, let me see it. Like when you are asking a personal question, you can, for example, like what would you say, I guess, is your biggest like challenge in the business right now? Or like what do you think is not working at the level that you want it to? Like when you're asking for a specific challenge or a vulnerable piece of information, you can use your facial expressions to make them more likely to give you that information. And fourth is eye contact. Eye contact is super, super important. But don't be a creep. This is literally the first point. Like I said before, you don't want to be a creep at eye contact. You don't just want to be staring and um like stuttering over your words and just staring them because then you'll just look like a fucking weirdo. You want to have soft eyes. Like basically close them and just open them slightly. And then just have them like that and just speak to the person. Because it's more about looking at them in the face. Because at a certain point, honestly, if you just keep looking in their eyes, into their soul, and you keep speaking, at a certain point, they are not actually listening to the exact words that you're saying. They are just looking at your physiology, which makes you more captivating either way because they feel like they have to look at you and they have to listen because you're staring into them. And like I said, you're not doing this in a creepy way. You're just doing this in like a smooth way. It's not like I'm just focused on you. I'm still speaking, I'm still moving, but I'm looking at you. Now, my friends, you're welcome. You're welcome. Now, please be aware that the things I just went over are extremely, extremely, extremely powerful. And I do not want you to use these in a manipulative way. They can be used, but I more so want you to be aware of them. So if they are used on you, you can pick up on them quickly and not confide to the frame of the conversation that the other person wants to take it. Sub for more videos. Hope you found it useful. I'm going to be making a lot more on communication, influence, psychology, manipulation, maybe a little bit, not sure. But yeah, sub for more if you liked it. Hit that like video if you want me to make more of them. And yeah, speak soon.